It's too late. I wouldn't mind it if I knew you really loved me too. But I'd hate to think that I'm in love alone and nothing that I can do. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. My mama told me, she said, son, please beware. There's this thing called love, and it's everywhere. And she told me, it can break your heart and put you in misery. Since I met this little woman, I feel it's happened to me, and I'm feeling it. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. I found myself phoning her at least 10 times a day. It's so unusual for me to carry on this way. I can't sleep at night. Won't think of her. I tried so hard to convince myself that this feeling just can't be. I'm feeling it's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. I wouldn't mind it if I knew you really loved me too. But I'd hate to think that I'm in love alone and nothing that I can do. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling. My mama told me, she said, son, please beware. There's this thing called love, and it's everywhere. And she told me, it can break your Since I met this little woman, I feel it's happened to me. And I'm telling you, it's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. I found myself phoning her at least 10 times a day. It's so unusual for me to carry on this way. I tell you, I can't sleep.
Hello, everybody out there. I wish I could say it's nice to see you, but unfortunately I can't. But I still want to say hi. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm Michael Chang. I lead our music industry marketing here at YouTube. And first off, thank you for joining. We're super excited for today's presentation. There's this new analytics product. It's something that we have a lot of excitement for internally, and we know that there's been a lot of excitement for this product externally as well. And so super excited to kind of give you guys the most out of this platform as possible. It's a huge priority for us as a team, as a company, to prove to our music partners the value that can be unlocked on YouTube, and to really help you guys get the most out of all of our products. Which is why we want to kind of institute these masterclasses that are going to be taking place, a few times a year, and that really go deep on one specific YouTube topic to, like I said, help you guys get the most out of the platform. As far as the agenda goes, we have an executive welcome from Lior himself, which will happen in a couple minutes. And then we are going to shift to Chris, who's going to talk through sort of the vision for our analytics product. From there, we are going to transition over to a very special guest, Tarek Alhamdouni, the SVP of Digital Marketing at RCA, and someone that we definitely internally consider a YouTube analytics expert. And we kind of wanted you guys to hear from someone who's really using this product in the real world, so you guys can get some kind of tips and tricks on practical ways and applications for the YouTube product in your own lives. After Tarek, we're gonna hand it back to Chris to go through some user journeys, some like specific use cases that we think will be helpful for you guys to understand. And I would recommend that throughout the time that Chris is presenting, it's really, I think, important for you guys to log into the actual analytics account yourselves, so that you can kind of follow along with what he's saying and almost learn by doing. The next slide, you'll see we also have prepared for you guys an opportunity to submit questions. So if you just kind of scan this QR code, you'll get sent to a website called Slido. Through there, you can submit questions, and the actual public can upvote certain questions so that we actually answer the most popular questions first. So if you have any questions there, please do add it. It's also super important to us that we get feedback from you guys. So if you have any feedback on the product, please feel free to add it in the tool, or to just kind of reach out to your YouTube counterpart directly, and they can make sure that the right people hear your feedback. Cool. So I think that's it for me. I'm now going to pass it over to Lior to say welcome, and thanks again, guys, for joining.
Thank you, Michael. Hi, everybody. I hope you're healthy and well. Well, my name is Lior, and I'm so excited to be here today to learn more about YouTube analytics. For as long as I've been here at YouTube, I've been hearing from everybody in the industry that you wanted a clearer understanding of performance on YouTube. And thankfully, our product team, who will present in a minute, has heard your feedback loud and clear. Our team is completely committed to helping you and your artists get the most out of YouTube, to understand it better, to dissect your audience in extreme detail, and our new analytics product does precisely that. It will not only help you see how well your videos are performing, but also every nuance behind that performance, while giving analytics users like you the full picture behind every video, so you can make better decisions for your artists and your fans. The younger me is jealous because, trust me, when I was in the record business, I was shooting in the dark, and it's really helpful having analytics and being able to understand them. And I thank you all for being here. We hope you find today helpful. And Chris, I'll send it over to you. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
All right, thank you, Lior. My name is Chris Clark. I'm the product manager for analytics for artists and music analytics. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I'm super excited to roll this out. This product's been a long time in the making. But before we do that, before we walk through the product and show you how it can be helpful to you in your day-to-day, I want to zoom out a bit and share more about our vision. And our vision really starts with the YouTube platform. YouTube is the biggest promotional platform in the world. You know, with over 2 billion monthly logged in users in over 100 countries, the universe of music fans really is on YouTube. And 2 billion people is a lot of people with a lot of different habits, behaviors, likes, dislikes. And analytics has two main goals here. First, analytics is key in helping you make sense of all that fan behavior across device types, across formats, and across geos. And second, analytics will help you chart a plan to tap into this massive audience of music lovers so you can grow your career or the careers for the artists that you represent. And when we think about YouTube, the first thing we think about is the world of music. So on YouTube, you know, your music goes beyond a single sound recording. You have your channel, of course. YouTube is very much about the channel model, where your song can be visually represented as official music videos, dance videos, lyric videos, or live performances. But then there's what's happening outside of your channel. You know, your song can be used by fellow artists. It can be renowned networks or fans can use that and bring to a whole new audience. The song can travel around the world overnight, reaching new audience, you know, sometimes as covers, remixes, and dance videos. So it's really important to get your arms around all of this content that is spurred by your art. And when we launched analytics, we wanted to capture all the ways in which music is consumed. This gives you all the most comprehensive and complete view of your audience, global reach, and performance across YouTube. We wanted to make sure that it was comprehensive so that it was sophisticated for experts like all of you, but also that it's actionable and accessible to artists so that they can take control of their careers. That's why last July, when we launched YouTube Analytics for Artists, you know, we really had these two, comprehensive but actionable, in mind, and we're going to discuss more of that. Right now, I'm going to play a quick video to intro the product.
Introducing the new YouTube Analytics for Artists. While you can't see your fans right now, they're more active than ever. Billions all over the world are on YouTube, where music, videos, and live performances take center stage. Your art inspires creation. Through covers, live reactions, or even the latest dance craze, fan love amplifies your releases, inviting passionate new audiences to tune in. YouTube Analytics for Artists shows how fans engage with your music, whether it's on your channel or other places on YouTube. You'll get the full picture with unique insights and know exactly what resonates with people no matter where they are. As you build a community, we make it easy for you to see videos your fans and other artists are creating using your music. And with this data available in real time on mobile, you can easily access your analytics wherever you are, empowering you to make better decisions whether you're at home or on the go. YouTube Analytics for Artists. Get the full picture, make better decisions.
All right. So, yeah, this phrase "giving you the full picture" is a lot of how we think about this product. And the feature that pairs well with that is what we call total reach. So with total reach, analytics now captures all the ways your music is consumed. That allows you to monitor analytics from videos uploaded to your official channels, including Vivo, including the art tracks delivered by the label, in addition to those created and shared by fans, tastemakers, and collaborators. Additionally, the song detail feature. So we wanted to make this super simple for everything to be organized under the sound recording. So with song detail, you'll never miss a viral video created by your fans. This really matters because it helps you see which songs are popular with your fans, which content your fans are creating with your songs, and how your artist collaborations are performing, and how that's influencing the growth of one artist's channel. UGC videos that are included in the overview are the ones that contain most of the song's recording. So what I mean by that is we try to be very selective about what we let in here. We know there's a lot of incidental music on YouTube. We didn't want a situation to be where, a vlogger walks into a cafe and there's 10 seconds of a song playing and, this skews your analytics. We really tried to make sure that that the music is the focal point of the analytics here. And UGC, it's incredibly important. It's, I think, broadly, culturally, it's becoming increasingly important. It's always been important on YouTube. And we find that on average, even the top 1,000 artists on YouTube, they're getting over 20% of their music views from videos created by users. And these views are largely incremental. I mean, I think the kind of simple example is something like, your fans in Russia are creating a Russian language lyrics video, or the classic, dance video that uses your song, but the creators in the video are creating something new with that. And on to the next pillar is helping you make better decisions to grow. So we wanted the product to definitely be comprehensive, but we also know that it has to be actionable. Like, we know that you all are swimming in a sea of data. YouTube analytics alone is a lot of data, but we wanted to make it actionable. We're going to go into a lot of what makes YouTube unique and how to get the most out of it. But it's important to remember that actionable data like impressions, clicks, demographics, retention, and engagement data is going to help you better understand how your catalog is distributed across the entire YouTube ecosystem. And more importantly, how your audience engages with it. So in addition to desktop, artists can now access the new insights on the Studio mobile app. You can get that in either the iOS or Android app stores. And that enables them to get data, notification updates, real-time analytics. So whether you're on the road or in the studio, analytics is there. So right now I'm really excited to introduce a very special guest, Tarek. He'll be sharing some examples on how he uses analytics in his day-to-day. So Tarek, over to you.
Intro. Great to see everybody, or great to be here. As was mentioned, my name is Tarek Almdouni. I run digital marketing over at RCA Records. I do spend a lot of time in YouTube analytics, and I'll touch on a few points that Chris had earlier, because I think that it's really important that you start with understanding a platform before you can really understand what the data is that you're going to get from it, and what questions it can answer, or what assumptions it can help you to either verify or contradict. And so, one of the key things for me is that low barrier to entry. It's a platform that is easily accessible. All you need is an internet connection, and you can watch music and you can listen to music videos. And we see that happening, all around the globe. I think what that generally means is that you're going to see, if you're reaching a general market, you're going to see that general market show up and discover your content or engage with your content afterwards on platform. From there, the other side of it is, those 2 billion people, they're obviously not all the same person. And I think as a result, in addition to having that general market, you also have these huge audiences to pull from, such that you can actually get to know a niche audience pretty well, because just about anything is going to have enough scale for us to be able to do some digging and understand how that niche audience is engaging with our artists. And then the variety of ways that the fan, the viewer, the user can actually engage with our content. Whether that's watch, like, comment, create, share. I think all of those things says something different about the consumer and how they're engaging with our content. So knowing all of that, how do I use this data? What assumptions do I test on a regular basis? For me, one big thing is how has my audience changed? If you're looking at the demographics post Grammys performance, you're going to see generally an age increase of the 45+ demo. We know that's who engages with that show or who watches it most or who's influenced by it most. If it's post SNL, maybe it's a little bit more 30 to 40. And I think that obviously is something we saw at RCA with HER, who just performed on SNL this past Saturday. And then post-viral campaigns. Generally viral campaigns lean particularly young. These days, they also tend to lean fairly female. And so with a record like Brockhampton Sugar, as a dance trend started to emerge, both on and off platform, we really saw that their core male 18 to 24, 25 to 34 audience shifted almost overnight to a 13 to 17 female audience. What does that mean? More opportunity, different ways for us to engage with the new audience, and really just opportunity for us to seize upon. Another question that I'm asking on a regular basis is how are users finding my content, our artist content? I think one of the things that we like to do on a regular basis is really test the validity of things like a collaboration. We just released a record with Tate McRae and Ali Gady. Ali Gady being the featured artist on that track. And when I went into the search analytics, what I actually was able to see that Ali Gady was one of the top search terms. And to me, that validates that is the right kind of overlap that we want to be seeing between those two audiences, and that he actually is helping to bring more attention to the song, record, more success, etc. You can also take a look at similar artists and really how they're showing up and suggested. I think that there's a lot to be learned from the algorithm and the way it serves content. And when I look at a record like Nico Moon's Good Time, which is a country record that we've partnered with our Nashville team on, as I was digging through the data and we got ready to release a pop mix, which is coming up soon, we really saw that another record of ours, Kane Brown's Be Like That, which is a collaboration with Sway Lee and Khalid, really started to push views of this video. It's the #2 suggested video in terms of driving views for Nico Moon's Good Time. And because that's another record that's largely country but skews pop, it really validates, I think, our intentions of moving forward with this pop mix, and I think raises our expectations a bit. One more thing is really UGC growth, decay, and how does that affect kind of what opportunities lie in front of you. Doja Cat's Say So was a big record for us this past year. And we saw really, really early signs of UGC popping up on platform around that song before any trends started to take place. And then from there, the trends just started to solidify and grow. And so that allowed us to invest in that record in a different way and really demanded, as much attention as the label could possibly give it, which we're proud to say that we were able to do that. And then the other side of UGC is really what kind of UGC is being created. I mentioned dance for Doja Cat, but it could have been gaming, it could be fashion, it could be sports, it could be cosmetics. And then from there, it's really up to the marketer to figure out what do you do with that information. For me, if I know that our trend is living in the gaming world, I'm going to go find gaming channels to partner with. If it's more of a sports thing, if it's more cosmetics, then those are the influencers, the channels that I'm going to engage with as well. So it's really like, who can you partner with from there? Or, who does your content really speak to from a creation perspective? And then last but not least, I would say, measuring success is something that we do on a really regular basis, and really trying to understand how one particular video is doing compared to prior releases. In a perfect world, every time you launch a new video from your artist, you've grown an audience, which means you're going to grow in streams, you're going to grow in views. We know that's an impossible task, but it certainly is the goal every time. And so on a regular basis, we're measuring views of our current video to views of our past videos through the same duration. Have likes gone up or down? Have comments gone up or down? Did the date that we launched the video make a big difference in terms of it going day and date with the song? Or if it came afterwards and we launched a lyric video ahead of time? But I think that's like a really straightforward way that we're using the data on a regular basis. And I think, once you understand the data that's available on platform, it's really easy to start to plug it into how you would use it in your day-to-day. And it's really just a matter of how creative you can be and what questions you can ask. And then the digging that you can do on platform, which is fairly easy. All in all, like the last kind of like endorsement I can give for the product is just, when I was asked to do this, I don't think it took more than 10 minutes to think of the things that I use YouTube analytics for. And I think that's specifically because it's like asking what I ate for dinner last night. It's like something I do every day. I'm in this platform on a very regular basis. It's so much a part of, how I understand our audiences and how I can understand how our fans are engaging with our content and where the opportunities lie. That talking about it really is about as easy as it gets. So I really appreciate the opportunity. I hope you guys are able to learn something on here. I'm sure you will, and I'm sure I'll learn a few things as well. But yeah, thanks for the time, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the presentation.
Thanks, Tarek. Yeah, it's really gratifying to hear how you use the product. I think we personally learn as much from talking to all of you, and we build specifically with this audience in mind, so it's really great to hear it. So now that we've talked about the vision, we've given you the high-level overview of our new features. We're going to take you through the actual product and explain how to get the most out of the features. So when we think about the product, there are kind of three key functions for how we think about analytics and YouTube Studio generally. So first, measuring performance. We want to help you understand how the platform works and how your content is performing. You can kind of think of this as, the sort of what happened, why did it happen? It's very backwards looking. It's the sort of questions that people ask. But then we know we need to help you optimize for growth. So we need to help you grow your audience and give you actionable insights to increase views, watch time, and revenue. And third, we know you're not operating in a vacuum. We know your presence is hugely important on the platform, so we want to help you complete other necessary actions to manage your presence on the platform and improve your overall experience. So starting in the performance category, that's this what happened, backwards looking, how do I understand category. So first, the question, how am I doing overall? These are kind of questions like, how many views did this get? How much watch time? How many fans are there? What is the growth in your viewer base? What is the growth in active subscribers? And before I get started, I'm going to give everyone a second. I know Michael asked you to do it in the beginning, but really important, if you go to studio.youtube.com, this is available on both mobile and desktop, but I encourage the desktop product. It's much more robust in terms of the features. And while you're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about YouTube Studio. So YouTube Studio, that's at studio.youtube.com. It's the home for creators and artists. It was originally the sort of creator home where they can edit and manage their videos and see analytics. We have retrofitted it for artists so that it makes a lot of sense. And it's really the cockpit where you manage your presence. It's where you grow your channel. It's where you interact with your audience, and where analytics lives. We really want you to think of this as the centerpiece of your life on YouTube. And as Tarek said, it should be like eating dinner. There's enough to do here that it's a daily habit. So hope everyone is there, but if not, we can go through. I'll go through this in the presentation. So the landing page for Studio is the Studio dashboard. This is the first tab you're going to see when you get to Studio. So what you see here is it's a personalized bird's eye view on what's been going on with your channel as well as on the platform since the last time you visited. The way information is surfaced is through these cards. Each of these cards contains a self-contained idea. So you can see right here, the current subscriber count, that's up 12,000 in the last 28 days. Over here, you can see some specific news about the platform. We'd really like to develop this because one, it works really well with mobile, and two, we understand that you have a lot of data you're looking at, a lot of different platforms you're working with. We want you to be able to log in and in 5 seconds see what the most important thing is. So, our goal is to provide a destination that has fresh, weekly, personalized insights delivered via these cards. These will highlight milestones. For example, you just got added to a playlist or there was a spike in traffic, and give you a recap on how your content is performing at a glance. You can access analytics. So this will be the core of what we're talking about here in the left nav. So click on analytics, and you'll land on the overview tab within analytics. So here's where you see how your channel, how the artist is performing overall on the platform. At the top is something we call smart headlines. So right now for all of you, it should be highlighting total reach. So it'll show you the ways in which your music is being consumed. So you can see the last 28 days, 73% of views came from videos on the official artist channel. 27% came from videos that featured Tessa's music on other channels. And these, again, are tastemakers, fans, collaborators. And the 73% would include the official stuff. That it would include Vivo or the Art Track or any videos directly on the channel. Now, the really cool feature, this is the total reach feature, is that you can toggle between these views using the toggles on the top. So let's say you're hyper-focused, you just want to worry about the official stuff right now, no problem. Just turn off this, click this button, turn off the other channels, and you'll have you can manage your channel as is. If you want to deep dive in what kind of UGC is being created, turn off the official artist channel, and you'll get the other channels. When they're both on, you get the total reach feature. Additionally, in the top right, you can adjust the time period. So the default is the past 28 days, but there are some presets like past 90 days, past 365 days, and also custom. Let's say you did something on July 15th, and you want to see how the channel has been performing from July 15th to present. So down here is the key metrics card. So you can see views, watch time, and unique viewers. So unique viewers is the estimated number of different people. That's individuals who came to watch your videos over a given time period. Again, the default is 28 days. Views, very understandable. These are kind of streams as the industry thinks of them. Watch time, I think, you'll hear me mention this a few times throughout the day. Watch time is critically important. You'll see it shows up almost everywhere in this product. That is because the YouTube recommendation algorithms love watch time. So if a user streams your video, if they view your video, how long do they actually stick with it? That's something our recommendation algorithms are consistently looking at to make sure that we're providing a great experience. So next up is real time. So over here, this is super exciting. The real time card gives you an overview of the last 48 hours and shows you the top videos in that time. This is updating in real time, so it's great. You should come here as soon as you launch or publish a new video because you can really see how things are performing. And when you click on see more, you get more of a breakdown from the last 48 hours. So you can see slices by the hour, as well as the past 60 minutes. These are views happening, and you can see exactly what's happening here in real time across both official videos and user-generated videos. Again, these toggles live everywhere, so you can turn on or off the official versus other channels video. So back to analytics. This is closing out of real time, going back into the overview tab. You'll see your top videos. Again, it being YouTube, the video is kind of the center of how we think about analytics and how your fans are engaging with your content. So here we have top videos. You can see, of course, this is ranked by views, but also, again, I mentioned average view duration. How long are people sticking with this video? So 243, 63, that's roughly 63%. So this is something to keep an eye on. This seems pretty consistent across this channel, but if you see deviations, there may be something to look into. So next, getting more specific. So we talked about, how am I doing? But really, you're releasing new content. So you want to see, how's my latest video doing? How's my latest song doing? Is it up week over week? We live streamed. How did that go? So again, we make this very simple. In the studio dashboard, the latest video performance card will show up right here. So the last video that you released will be right here, and you'll have a snapshot. We do some benchmarking against your past 10 videos. So in this case, this is the 3rd out of 10. So 2 videos did better than this. Here are the number of views. Here are the impressions click-through rate. That is up, trending up compared to benchmark, and the average view duration trending down. So these are kind of the important metrics. I'll go over more why this is important, but see how the trend for these videos are doing. So if you click on Go to Video Analytics, okay, all right. So you click on Go to Video Analytics, you'll land in the Video Analytics landing page. Here we have that same video. Again, views, watch time, how many subscribers you gained. This gray bar is the trend for this channel. So you can see this video is doing slightly better than trend since launch. You can look over here. The default for video analytics is since last published. You also will notice this smart headline changes to be about this video. So great news, more people than usual are choosing this video from YouTube recommendations. Well, you can look over at real time and yeah, browse features, which for those of you who are familiar with YouTube analytics, that is essentially the home tab. That means YouTube is placing this video on the home screen and people are clicking on it and using it. So if you click see more, and you will go into the deep dive, and there's a compare button in the top right. So you're able to compare. You can select another video to compare performance to the video you were just looking at. So in this example, we're going to compare Tessa's latest video to one of her recent live streams. And as you can see here, you have on the left is the original video, and then on the right is the video that you're compared to. And you can see the stats. So the video in blue is doing better than the video in purple. And you can add multiple metrics here. You can see how this is doing in terms of impressions, watch time, click-through rate, and just see how those trends are behaving over time. That's video analytics. That's kind of our rich, we do a lot of benchmarking here and comparing how videos perform against each other. So closing out of the video analytics and going into, going back to the core analytics in the left nav and into the advanced mode, I'm going to introduce the song detail. So in this nav here, in core analytics, you'll see something called songs. Here you get a performance of each of the song in terms of views, watch time, unique viewers, impressions. And so the default is just views for a given song, so that's streams. But if you click this plus button here, you can choose through a whole array of metrics. So you can see likes, dislikes, shares, end screens. You know, again, I mentioned the watch time and average view duration, impressions and click-through rate. So you can add these very quickly to see how a song overall is performing. And here's an example of what that would look like if you added views, watch time, average view duration. So again, if you click on let's say you're in a song and you want to see which UGC videos have been made, you can, again, here are the total reach toggles. You can turn them off, and you can see all the videos that have been created for a specific song by fans, tastemakers, and collaborators. So this really matters because it's going to help you see which songs are popular with fans. You're going to say, wow, there's hundreds or even in some cases thousands of videos that are being created, and the type of content that's being made. Hey, there's a lot of lyrics videos. There's a lot of dance videos. There's, as Tarek mentioned, gaming. It will help you understand which type of content and which adjacent creators are resonating with your music. And again, how the artist collaborations are performing. So next, in measuring performance, we really want to understand, Tarek mentioned this, critically important, how are users discovering content on YouTube? So, what drives consumption of the content? What are the traffic sources? How does an impression lead to watch time? So, YouTube has this very interesting property that it's a highly visual platform. I think a lot of people from the music industry are thinking of, this song, I got to get this song in this larger listening experience, this playlist. But in YouTube, the top of the funnel really starts with the visual entity. So, and really understanding how that works is going to be key to success. So I'm going to dive more into that here and show you how promotion works on YouTube. So music watch time mainly comes from 4 areas: suggested videos, playlists, search, and browse. You can think of browse as really the home feed, but there are also surfaces like the subs feed and explore. So first, suggested videos. This accounts for 30% of music watch time. And it's a personalized collection of videos that an individual viewer may be interested in watching next based on the video that they're watching. So you'll know this if you use YouTube, right? You're watching a video and there's a whole list of videos in the side panel for you to click on and engage with. Next category is playlists, also 30%. On YouTube, there are two main types of playlists though. So there are non-algorithmic playlists. These are made by curators at YouTube and YouTube Music, but they're also made by regular YouTubers, some of them with very big audiences. So getting on these playlists can be a way to reach a new audience. And then there are algorithmic playlists. It wouldn't be YouTube if there wasn't, an algorithmic component. And, a lot of, as you can see it up here, mix. So this Adele mix, getting in these kind of personalized playlists for users ends up being critically important to music discovery and music consumption. Next is search. This is the, search engine within YouTube that aims to service the most relevant videos and channels according to what a user searched. I will say that search is more important for music than non-music content on YouTube. We find that a lot of people, more than non-music, come to music through search. So definitely an important area to think about. And then finally, browse features. So this is, as I mentioned, the homepage makes up the large majority of music watch time within this category. We really try and make the home browsing experience as amazing as possible for users and get them into a listening or viewing session. So to understand this in analytics, you go to, going back to analytics, you go to the reach tab. So that is one to the right of the overview tab in this upper menu. And at the top, you can see impressions. So now impressions is the key metric. I mentioned this is the first thing your fans see when they are interacting with your content. You can also see views and unique viewers. So down below, you see this card with impressions and how they lead to watch time, and as well as the various traffic source cards. If you wanted to go a bit deeper, you can click See More on any of these cards to see, more in depth about this story. But again, important to remember, impressions, users click on them, that leads to views, and that leads to watch time, and the algorithm, it loves watch time. So clicking in on the traffic sources card, you can, that's the See More button. It will open up, again, advanced mode. So a really cool thing to note here and pay attention to is this impressions click-through rate. So even here, you can see 8 million impressions, 12 million impressions, which led to views. So the playlist had a better impressions click-through rate versus suggested videos and so on. So really starting to internalize, what is a good standard click-through rate will be important to optimizing your performance. If you click on playlists, you'll get to see a breakdown of individual playlists. I mentioned the algorithmic playlists. So my mix, hugely important on YouTube. A lot of people just go to YouTube and get their personally recommended mix. Users, love this playlist. It's tailored to them, and so very helpful. You can also see which songs of yours are starting mixes. That becomes a very interesting data point once you build more intuition about how your channel's working. When you click on YouTube search, you can see which search terms that viewers are using to find your content. So Tarek mentioned the example, right, where you're testing a collaboration. Are people searching for the collaborator and landing on your videos? That becomes, critically important for assessing how well you've captured that audience. So moving on in measuring performance, how can I understand my audience better? Who are the fans? What are their demographics? Where are they? Top cities by fan concentration. And it's important to remember that the YouTube algorithms really follow the audience. So the better you understand your audience, the better you tailor your content to them, the better it's going to perform. And to understand that, you can go in YouTube to the audience tab. So back in analytics, and look on the audience tab. This is where we really explain your audience. First, we show you where they are. It's hugely important to understand that YouTube is a global platform. You will see places that you are surprised that you are getting consumption in. YouTube users, it is really the global connected internet population. So top countries and top cities really help drive that point home. Similarly, age and gender. So you want to get a sense of the demographics. Tarek mentioned that may shift after different events. Like, very important for understanding what that mix is. Again, by clicking See More, you will land into advanced mode, where there are 4 views that you can dive deeper into. So geography, cities, age, gender. You can see, which songs up here. There's a filter. You can filter out by, let's say you want to just restrict to the US and Canada, or maybe you want to see how fans in Latin America are using your content. You can filter here by geography and see which songs and videos are popular. The next category of things we want to talk about is growth. So we've talked about performance. That is what happened. We looked at, okay, how do I see, where my views and watch time and fans are? How are people discovering my content through traffic sources, as well as how they're engaging with the thumbnails and how long they're sticking with the videos, which user-generated videos are leading to growth. But all that is just to build an intuition and understand the platform. Really what we're concerned with is growth. How do we take actions that maximize our ability to reach that audience? So one question that as you are planning content, what is the best time to engage my audience? You are doing live streams, premieres, posting. So we have made that very, very simple. We in the audience tab, we have a card that says, when are your viewers online? This shows you exactly when in the day and week most of your fans are online. So you can see here, clustered in this purple, weekdays, early in the morning. This is for Pacific time. This can help you to determine when to premiere, live stream, or publish your video. Another question, what video should I make next? This is kind of next level analytics, to be honest. So we've mentioned that you want to catch your users' attention, get them to click on a video, watch that video for a long time, and stick with it. But not captured within that is competition. How are you making sort of content that fits in with what your audience wants and isn't in an oversaturated category? And we'll soon be releasing a card that in the audience tab that tells you what other content your fans are watching. So you'll know your competition. And the exciting thing about this card is it will be broken down by both music and non-music creators. So you can really get a sense of, what your audience likes, both music and non-music. And this will really help to inform you what type of video you should make next, what type of creators you should partner with. And we're very, very excited to launch this. Again, I have mentioned thumbnails quite a bit. So which thumbnails work best so I can make more effective ones? Video thumbnails are always competing against other videos in the homepage. So you get a tile of videos. What are users going to click on? Watch next, tile of videos. What is going to catch a user's eye and get them engaging in your content? I've mentioned this already, but in the advanced mode, you can start looking at impressions and click-through rate. So the click-through rate measures how often a user watched a video after seeing the thumbnail. This will vary based on the type of content, the audience, and where on YouTube the impression was shown. So, as we saw in the earlier example, playlists, they're more of a passive consumption mode, so that'll get a sort of a higher view-through rate. But really understanding how this works on home, on search, and watch next will help you to squeeze a little bit of extra view time. And actually, since that's at the top of the funnel, it's going to have the biggest impact. Also mentioned, if you want to filter by geography and see how that's going, go up to this filter bar and you'll see you can just filter and see how things are doing, say in the US, if that's what you're interested in. And again, you want to look at after impressions. You want to see how your average view duration is. I think one thing that YouTube algorithms penalize quite a bit is the sort of clickbaity spam thing, where someone clicks on a thumbnail that's provocative and immediately bounces out of the video. So you do want to tie that whole artistic piece together. And to gain an even better understanding of how well you are retaining the attention of your audience, you can go to the engagement tab. So again, in analytics, you can use the audience retention card. So if you see, here's the length of the video, you can start to see where people are dropping off. So this one has a fairly linear curve, but then a pretty steep drop off in the end. You know, I don't know this specific video, but it would be interesting to look into why that's happening. Again, clicking on see more, you can further dive into this and see your relative audience retention, where exactly in the video people are hopping off, and how much of a video audience wanted plays a big part on how much it's recommended. So again, like, I cannot emphasize this enough. Like, get really good at this and you will be far ahead of your peers. Another growth strategy, very native YouTube. I want to know which end cards work best so I can promote other videos and encourage viewers to subscribe. So end screens can be used to promote other videos, merch, playlist, or encourage viewers to subscribe. This is particularly useful for those of you who are managing a portfolio of artists. You can this is a very lightweight way to test how well audiences will cross over by using end cards. Again, on this engagement tab, you can see how often viewers are clicking on the end screens, and card and end screen performance really gives you a good idea of also how engaged your viewers are when watching your videos. Maybe if it's a more passive thing, they just won't see them and won't be clicking on them. Again, in advanced mode, these end screen tabs are here. I will say, like, this advanced mode is definitely where you want to end up. Again, this needs to be sort of your daily routine, and you'll learn the views that you want and that are important to you and that makes sense. It's also helpful. There's so much in here. I would encourage you that if someone within your company or an artist has a question, how is this performing? It's likely to be in here. And if it's not, feel free to reach out to us and we will work to get it in there. So last, now that we've talked about performance and growth, is channel management. So this is about how you manage your presence on YouTube as well as collaborate as a team. So first, how can I give more people access to my channel? And what roles can I give and what will they see? This is a relatively new rollout. This allows OAC owners that don't have a brand account to easily add other users to help manage their channel. One of the really exciting things here is we've given roles like manager, editor, or viewer. So if you're worried about someone, you want to work with them, but you don't want them to delete everything on the channel, give them a view-only access, and those worries are not an issue. And we're hard at work to make this available to brand accounts. Turned out to be a very complex project, so you'll expect to hear more from us on this soon. Again, here are the permissions showing it's dead simple permissions, how to add someone and make sure that they can have either manager, viewer, or editor role. And then finally, how can I check out analytics on mobile? In addition to desktop, artists can now easily access these new insights on the Studio mobile app. This makes it very easy to just open your phone and see exactly what's happening with your channel, with your audience, and with your reach. We've tried to include some very simple cards to just show you how you're doing. So if you can see in this dashboard, this song was number 76 on the top 100 music videos. We want to make this very easy to see and share on mobile. So that has been that wraps up the product walkthrough. There's a lot more here. I hope that you took away like a little of how YouTube works, a little of how to get what you want, and spend time in that advanced mode, figure out what works for you, build an intuition of how you're performing, and work to increase that. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Michael.
Everyone, thank you so much, Chris, for the hugely detailed explanation. Hopefully everybody found that helpful. And as Chris mentioned, really quickly before we move on to Q&A, I just want to quickly recap 3 key takeaways from today's presentation, and then we'll also kind of go into next steps. So takeaway number 1, I think, is that YouTube Analytics is unique, really, because it gives you the full picture, right? It shows you how your largest audience engages with your content and helps you understand really the complete journey of your songs, starting from the music videos to fan tributes and really everything in between. A song recording obviously flexes into so many different types of content, and we want to make sure analytics is the first place you turn to understand that sort of evolution of your song and how it's reaching your users. And hopefully this kind of understanding is helpful to you and your teams as you guys are trying to break artists and your songs. I think the second takeaway is, at the end of the day, this product is all about helping you make better decisions, right? And we do this by surfacing timely, personalized data, insights, recommendations, and within the product, we're really guiding you to make the most out of YouTube as a platform. And lastly, our vision for Studio and Analytics is to be the hub for your artists' careers, and that hub should be constantly refreshed. So we obviously recommend checking into your Studio account regularly for new updates that we will customize and surface for you. And these updates and everything really within the product is obviously going to be a huge source of investment for our company. So please make sure you're on the lookout for any new updates to the analytics product in the coming year. In terms of next steps, so just want to reiterate these. I'm sure you guys understand by now, but make sure you download the Studio mobile app so that you can stay up to date on your artist performance when you're on the go, when you're in the studio, etc. Secondly, make sure you're collaborating with your teams on Studio by giving them access via our new permissions feature. And lastly, please fill out the post-event survey, if you wouldn't mind. These are super important indicators for us as a team to make sure that these are actually helpful for you guys and that it's something that we should continue to do in the future. So if you have a second, please make sure you fill out the post-event survey. And of course, if you have any additional questions or feedback, feel free to email our alias, which is on the slide, musicinsiderprogram@google.com, or just relay that feedback or question to your YouTube counterpart. Awesome. So I think we are all set with the presentation now. We can pivot over to the Q&A, which I believe is being presented. There we go. So Chris, these were being submitted while you were presenting. So some of them will feel a little new, but I think question number 1 is, in the old analytics UI, they would isolate views by country and then look at traffic source in that country. Can't seem to figure out how to do this in the new UI. They can only see global traffic sources. Any chance you know how to, resolve this?
Yeah, so I did mention this in the presentation. So in advanced mode, where you either click advanced mode or click see more, there's a thing called filter. So once you click in a filter, there'll be an option to filter by country or a group of countries, your choice.
Awesome. Cool. And then next is, let's see here. How can they separate the content inside the main channel, uploaded content themselves, from all of the content that of the OAC, basically?
So at the moment, that is not possible. The reason we built it this way is, one, to avoid complexity. YouTube Analytics is complex enough as it is, and we really wanted to make sure that the product modeled how a fan interacts with the content. So this idea of what's uploaded directly to the channel is not something that audiences think about. Audiences only know the official art channel. So at present, this is not an option. How we would likely address this in the future is to add something in advanced mode to allow you to filter by this content.
Cool. And then secondly, I think you can see, how do I see the impressions and views driven by on-platform advertising versus organic algorithmic reach?
This is covered in traffic sources, I believe. So paid views would be a traffic source category. And you can, when you click that little plus button in the deep dive, you can add impressions and click-throughs, and then you will see paid views as a distinct line item. And if I'm wrong about that, we can send a follow-up, but I'm almost certain that's what it is.
Okay, awesome. Next, how do we find a timeline of subscriber numbers by the same way that they can with views?
So this is tricky. This is just admittedly something that is not working right now. So with the move to the official artist channel, we had this legacy problem of users who subscribe to the Vivo channel, or even in some cases to the topic channel where the art tracks are housed. So right now, this isn't working very well. Thankfully, with the as time passes, we hope this becomes less of an issue. But right now, we are working on getting this sorted out. But it's tricky because we have to dedupe users. Sometimes they subscribe to both the Vivo and the OAC, and so it's been challenging for sure.
Okay, got it. We'll have to follow up with that then. And then lastly, I think is, what is the distinction between playlists and playlist page in traffic sources?
So playlist is if you were recommended a playlist, and then the playlist page is if you navigated directly to the playlist within the URL.
Got it.
So playlist would be, so how this works, actually this is a very important thing to discuss. So how this works is if you're recommended a playlist on home, you will click that playlist. That first view is going to be, the traffic source attribution for that is going to be home, because the user initially saw that on a home. Views 2, 3, 4, etc. will come from the playlist. So that's an important thing to think about with traffic sources, is that compared to how other platforms list playlists, YouTube maybe underrepresents their importance, because playlists do show up in Watch Next. They do show up on home, but we attribute that to search, home, and Watch Next. So really important to think about. Also want to double back on this question about the channel, the subscriber timeline. That is actively being worked on, and it's not, I'm not saying it's not coming, I don't exactly know when. So it is coming, it's just, I don't have an exact date at the moment.
Cool. And just as kind of, an FYI to everybody watching, we're obviously going to follow up with any additional questions or feedback that you guys have. We can either do that through our alias, like I said, or directly through your POCs at YouTube. So maybe included in that perhaps could be an updated timeline on the subscriptions. And yeah, if you guys have any others, obviously share them either in the Slido or with your YouTube POCs, like I said. So I think that wraps everything that we have prepared for today. Again, just want to thank everybody so much for joining. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Shout out to Tessa Violet and her team for letting us use her analytics. Don't forget to download Studio Mobile. And obviously, like I said, probably a billion times now, please fill out the survey. And we definitely look forward to including you guys and welcoming you at any future masterclasses. Thanks again, and have a great day.